just asked him because of my surgery if he'd give me last semester's recording.
Oh, good.
So I did that earlier, and then of course they asked, well, there's no audio. Would it be helpful? And they said yes, and so he in that recording went through everything.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and if you figured it out without the audio, then I think you're good. I mean, I don't know that there's anything. I didn't know if he told you some extra things that I didn't know, because things. You know what I found? Let me tell you what I found. Our semester now, you have to fill in all the answers like 3.82. Theirs was 4 choices, multiple choice.
Oh.
And
so on this test, you have to type in the answers.
So it's just like the practice exam. Yep.
Okay. Because our last 2 tests, we haven't had to.
So yeah, so it's just he's done it exactly. So you have to. Where it's funny because the practice, I see the one he gave me, problems weren't in order, so I had to, you just couldn't listen to get the answers. You had to be attentive so you didn't goof up on the answers because they were out of order, but it was the same questions, and a lot of them were just multiple choice, and so it's like B, A, instead of, if he were to go through the answers with us, he'd have to actually read off the right answers rather than multiple choice. And so I thought, wow, they've gone to more where you have to type in the exact, so if you're off a number, you're out, which that's the nice thing about multiple choice is that you're not going to make a typo.
Yeah.
And
well, he did say that the quiz last night was, if we studied that it was a good practice for the exam. So
yeah, it is. It just made me think, did I not pay attention? Because there was certain things I was still struggling. I had a little bit, I thought, oh, but I to the point where, so I mean, I took a lot. I took probably 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because I kept going back trying to guess and I thought, have I not pulled up the right applet? And so that's what I kind of wondered about, if I hadn't pulled up the right template and so there was a couple I guessed on, but
see, that's what I did in my notes. Like I wrote down like use the applet or use Excel and this one. Is that what you did, Kim?
That's what I did. Yeah. I was trying to and do this step and this step and this step. I was just trying to, yeah.
How did you guys
write down every step?
How did you guys feel about the second exam?
I did a lot better. I got an 88, I think, or 89. To me, that was a lot better from, I think, the first one, because I was in such a rush. I did.
See, and I got in the 90s, so I got in the 80s, so I did worse,
Uh-huh.
But I thought, well, whatever.
No, I'm happy.
So I felt like the second exam was harder.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It wouldn't have been so hard. I felt like when we started doing some of these practice for this test, if I would have just had that review, I felt like I would have done better on my second exam. But and I was feeling a little bit like you. I thought of you, as I was doing everything earlier, and I probably didn't have the time to study, and I just thought, so I got an 89.3, which I'm.
Oh, I'd be thrilled with that.
And so I'm thinking, it's not the best, but my kids gave me a hard time. Mom, B's get degrees. Like A's.
Right.
my husband's boss said C's get degrees.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but I just needed to be done because I've got this psych exam now and a zillion other things that I haven't done yet today. But
which psych class are you taking right now?
201. It's the life. It's. I love it. I think when you relate with kids, I mean, my comments are just way different than these young kids, and so in that aspect, there's a zillion pages to read. I feel like that you got to memorize, and I can tell you, buy my development lab, not just my virtual child, but if you buy my development lab, it comes with a virtual child, and you will need it. It has practice tests, practice quizzes. They're brutal. If you don't, one girl just wrote this week, any tips? He warned us if you didn't get it, it wasn't required because they're tough. So, for example, they'll give a question like, blah, 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 that's middle early adolescence or middle adolescence, and then adult. Or I mean, so there's two really close. You're thinking, really, I didn't pay attention to one word like middle and early.
Yeah.
Like out of the 200 pages, you wanted me to remember that word.
Yeah.
So they don't give you a study
Those
guide, so
tests are tough.
you're just having to guess what they're going to test you on.
Oh gosh.
They have sample tests, though. My instructor gave us some websites to go to, and I found one website where they pretty much have they have more questions than what they give you on the tests, and some they tweak a little to make them a little bit different. But pretty much, if you studied those exams on that website, then you pretty much got what was on the exam for that.
So
But
do
I
you
didn't
guys,
find that out till later.
do you guys suggest not taking too many other classes with that class?
It's
I
a lot of reading,
did
so
it
just
full
depending on
time.
what you're. Well,
I did it with 4 classes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
did it with another.
Okay.
that's crazy. See, I did it with stats.
Which
I
is
mean, you know,
crazy.
this, right? And so I felt like, what was I thinking? But the only reason I've done as well in this class is because of this teacher doing his classes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the
Yeah.
only reason I've got an A.
How'd you do on your psych?
I think I got an A minus.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I hated those tests. It's like they picked out one tiny little fact or one tiny little word or one
Yeah.
tiny little percentage, and you're supposed to remember that.
Oh man.
Or it was always between 2 answers. Like, it could be this one or this one. And it always seemed like I picked the one it wasn't.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So,
But I found myself this morning as I was doing this exam 3 sample test. I was so frustrated, I threw it across the room, and I mean, he was struggling with this. How are we supposed to be able to know this if he is struggling with it?
Yeah.
well, and that's the thing that bothers me is that on I don't know if you noticed on the did he correct the answers, because what was frustrating is on the correct answer sheet, I think he didn't correct some of the answers. So you can see where people, if they didn't watch the video, they're like, this doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I kind of feel like you do. Man, if he doesn't know the answers, why would we?
Well, I can handle the concepts in the group quiz we took last night, but it seems like these exam questions are just so much deeper.
Yeah.
Well, study
Okay,
and pray.
so what do we have? Don't we have that second paper due now? We just need to answer those 3 questions.
Yeah. I think it's July 4th.
Yeah, so we need to do that. So let me pull mine up.
Speaking of frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
How'd you guys do? Did you guys get my comment about we should have done it the opposite way? We should have taken the stuff from
Yes.
the in-store and looked on the...
I had to do that with a couple of my items. It was just impossible to do it the other way.
Yeah.
Well, I just didn't answer one of them because I just felt like I knew we were going to have 30, but I tell you, when I went the first time, I thought, bag it, I'm just going to start picking, and I thought, no, we said we were going to go down this, you know. So, but I was so frustrated the first time, I really was. I thought, I wrote down some in case I wanted to do that when I got home, and then I just got home, and every item I just went to your store to make sure it was there, and the only thing that didn't come up was the Rubbermaid containers. It said it was in my store and it wasn't there, and that's when I thought, well, so what? I've got 29 out of 30.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was surprised too how some things weren't marked correctly in the store, and so you had to, like, if I found a difference between the 2 prices, I had someone check the price. But I was lucky. I had my daughter help me.
Well, and I had a feeling with that with the fan, was that I thought, what, they're going to do that cheaper because, you know, it's hot, and maybe they figure to get people to buy it from online, they'll wait if it's cheaper. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I had them ring it up like I was going to buy it, and I says, oh, I don't want that. But yeah, it was the same price as online, but they'd put it on a shelf with a big sign that was the wrong price.
Huh. Yeah, I had my daughter help me look for the stuff, And then when we were all done, because we were in there, you know, a couple hours or whatever, and when we were all done, she's like, "That was fun, Mom." This is my 13-year-old. I'm like, "I'm glad you thought it was fun."
It was like a treasure hunt, a scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
That's what this reminded me of. But if you go to my store, it said what aisle it was on.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
See, I couldn't figure that out, so I like just went with a huge list. I figured I'd be able to find something off of it,
Yeah.
but
Um,
okay. So the questions we have now. So Kim? Did you get Pam's email and were
I
you
did.
able to?
Did you guys get it? I sent you the new. What time was on?
I didn't look.
I sent you guys the new list of all the products.
oh, I didn't. I haven't had time to look at
Oh,
anything.
updated project information. Yep, right there. Okay, perfect.
So if I just attach that, or actually we all have to do it, we'll all just attach that to this document, right? The one we turn
Yeah.
in? Okay.
Yeah, it says attach the data you collected. Please include labels and any explanation needed so that it is clear what your data represents.
Yeah, I don't think we need extra labels because it kind of is clear, but you guys tell
Yeah,
me.
I thought it was I thought you did great. Okay, so the research question, we just need to copy and paste that from our first one, right?
Yeah.
That's the first. I gotta pull that up again.
So we've got to pull up. We've got to resend because I haven't even looked at it. Oh my gosh! I hope
Okay,
I'm.
so the final project. Okay, so on design the study, our research question was state your. It was we are trying to determine if online shopping at Walmart is cheaper than going to their store locally. Okay, do you want to hear something funny too? So, you know, my daughter was with me and she wanted to buy some workout clothes and some things. So that was on my list because I had clothing and jewelry. And so I actually had a pair of shorts on there, some like basketball shorts or whatever. And they were like $2 cheaper online than in the store. And so they did a price match with their own online.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I found a lot of mine were cheaper. Some
Yeah.
of them were, you know, a lot cheaper.
Yep.
I found a few outliers for me, but I thought I was going to have just a ton that was cheaper, and then the things that randomly came up for me end up being the same. So
Huh. That was
I
about 50%, I think.
see, and mine was a lot less than that. So that's what will be fun about combining all of them. You know,
Yeah. One thing I did notice is like video games, like the gaming stuff, are all cheaper to buy online. Most of them, which I
really
thought was interesting.
movies were the same.
Really? Cheaper online?
Nope, they were the same in the store. Same
Oh, the
thing.
same. Oh, same. Okay, so question number 1, state your research question. We're trying to determine if online shopping at Walmart is cheaper than going to their store locally. So then the number 2 question is provide a short summary of what you learned while collecting your data. Oh, we were supposed to do this ahead of time. Oops, I forgot. Did you
We were
guys
supposed to
do it?
we were supposed to do what?
Answer number 2 and come up with a short summary before we met today. I
Well,
forgot to do that.
well, isn't that kind of what I sent? Is
Yeah,
that
that's what you guys sent in the email, wasn't it? The struggles you had with.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I made comments on what I sent you, Kim. Like I made comments, but I didn't write like a short summary. So we need to do that, I guess.
the only thing that I would probably say summarize it was for me, I mean, so for you, it's probably a little bit different. For me, with the items I got, I thought everything was going to be less, and then so I was kind of surprised because they told me even in the baby section, she says, "Oh, it's everything's cheaper online," and but I again with the camping and a few of that kind of stuff, like a tablecloth, it's because some of the stuff that came up were like the very first one was like tablecloths. Well, that was the same price, and so I think for me, I was first surprised to see how many things I first found that were lower by $1 or $2, not great. But then I thought everything was going to be cheaper. Then I was surprised that I ended up having more that were the same.
Hmm.
So that's kind of my summary of it, other than the fact it was a pain.
Yeah.
We should have done it the other way around, but living
Yeah.
there.
Do you guys want me to type it up and then send it to you in an email? Or let's see.
Yeah. We all
Okay.
pretty much have the same problems,
Yeah, I think we did.
items and things like that.
Well, don't we have to have the same answer on number 2, though? Don't we have
Oh,
to have
yeah.
the same summary? Okay. So what should we
Yeah.
say? Because it says describe where and how you collected your data. So that should be, okay, so that we already did on design the study. Let's see, where did we
So
put
just
that?
copy and paste design the study?
Yeah. So did you guys copy and paste the question? Because that's for number 1. And then,
And I didn't copy anything because I thought we had to have the same one, so I thought one person was going to type it and then just kind of send it out to everybody. So we all turned in the same paper.
I can do that again. I have it pulled up right here. So let's see, where's how we did it? I'm looking. I can't. Okay, here it is. This is how we decided to do it. We will choose 5 different departments listed online. We then will pick the first and then every third subcategory after that. Example, first, third, sixth. Then the first item listed in each subcategory that was listed as sold in store for our sample. If there are no subcategories, we will choose every third item. Okay, so that's what we did. That's what we said we did, and that's what we did. So let's copy that and paste it to collect the data. Because it says describe where and how you collected the data. So where.
Am I on the wrong page? Because my collect the data doesn't say that. Oh, never mind. I found it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No,
Oh,
I
my
just
goodness.
was reading what we wrote on number 9
Gotcha.
on the design the study.
Yeah, I was looking in the wrong place. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be the same.
Okay, so I copied and pasted that, but it says where and how. So just say we went
Physical store and online.
yeah, we went to
We shopped online and in the local store, local Walmart.
okay. Did I say data or data?
I don't
I
know.
say data. Data? Data. I think I probably say data.
I was talking to my kids about this the other day, my 17-year-old kids
Tomatoes,
and their friends.
tomatoes.
I know, and they're like, it's data. And I'm like, I think I've always said data.
Data. Yeah, I can see data, but it just sounds so twangy.
They said data.
Data.
Okay,
You
okay, this is what
redneck,
I
it's data, but for me it's data.
To me, it reminds me of Star Trek. Wasn't that Data? You know that guy on Star Trek? Next
Wasn't
Generation. Data. That's what it reminds me of. Anyway, okay, so we went to Walmart.com and went to our local Walmart store to collect our data. We will each,
That's
and then
weird.
I just posted what we posted on number 9, how we collected it. Okay, so then it says we need to. Was there a situation you had not anticipated, and how did you handle it? So I think there was a lot that we talked about, so we need to just mention that. So some things that were online were not in the store. So we would have to. So what?
Just
What,
say,
Pam?
I would just say substitute a different item.
So we would have to, oh good, substitute.
see, and I didn't substitute. I went back and made a new list and went to the store.
Well, I had such a big long list that I went with that I just was able to do it there. What?
So I think substitute or
That lights.
find new items online. Which is the same thing.
So that's just
Really
for the
the same
trim,
thing.
and let's do the shelves and the trim with that. But the walls, I don't want in semi-gloss. Sorry, my daughters are painting our living room closet, our coat closet.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah. Okay. So some things were not online. Okay, some things that were online were not in the store, so we would have to substitute with a different item.
Right.
We mentioned the prices. Some prices were different in the store, so would have to, what's a good word? Double check? No. Talk to an associate?
We'd have to validate it with the checkout or an associate.
The price with an associate. Well, some prices were different in the store, so we would have to validate the price with an associate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could say prices weren't clearly marked.
Oh, that's a good one.
Prices were not clearly marked, so we'd have to double check with an associate.
We're not correctly marked. Let's do correctly because marked. Okay. So prices were not correctly marked. We would have to validate the price with an associate. Okay. Was there any other problems
No,
you guys can think of?
just what a pain it was.
I know. That's why
But you know,
Kim
but
was
then
like, why didn't we do the Oreos?
I know, but then I started thinking about the mass and having to weigh it.
Yeah, but then
30
you could
bags
lift
and
the
30.
fingers and eat
Yeah.
it when you were done.
I still laugh at the ones that are weighing. I still have to laugh about weighing the M&Ms for different colors.
That's pretty funny.
Anyway.
Of course they're all going to be different. You can tell by looking at them. Anyway, that's funny. Okay,
I should
so
avoid the peanut M&Ms.
yeah,
But those are different.
yeah, definitely. Okay, is that it then? So state your research question. We did that. The summary, I'll just reread it and you tell me if you want to add anything else or change anything. We went to walmart.com and went to our local Walmart store to collect our data. We will each choose 5 different departments listed online. We then will pick the first and then every third subcategory after that. Example, first, third, and sixth. Then the first item listed in each subcategory that was listed was sold in store for our sample. If there are no subcategories, we will choose every third item. Some things that were online were not in the store, so we would have to substitute with a different item. Prices were not marked correctly. We would have to validate the price with an associate. We probably should mention we should probably answer that. Like, let's see. Some situations that were not anticipated were, we probably should put that. Some situations that anticipated were some things that were, okay.
For me, it was just not anticipating that I'd have to go in online to my store for every item. See, I just figured it would say only online, being stupid, not realizing it's not going to be the same in Utah and Washington and Arizona. I mean, why would they say, so I just hadn't anticipated having to verify every item within my own store online was one, and the other thing was I hadn't anticipated that the prices were going to be wrong in the store.
Right.
So those are the 2 things for me. I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone has anything different, but I mean, I figured it would be a problem. I knew they wouldn't have everything, so I anticipated that. I think so did you guys with your extra lists.
Yeah.
I just, I just didn't take anything extra because I was sure I had it right.
That's funny.
Oops.
But I found the opposite too. There were a couple items that I had on my list from the website to go check, and they didn't carry them in the store. So I wrote down just a different brand of the same thing or something like that, and then came back to look it up. And there were 2 or 3 that were not online.
Mhm.
Mm,
Went both ways.
Yep.
wow. So you'd think that if it's in the store, that at least sell it online.
I think so.
Sure.
I couldn't find these leopard skin. Uh,
That sounds handcuffs, leopard skin handcuffs.
And did you ask an associate, Pam? Did you say, hey?
they were in the store, and I couldn't find them online.
Oh,
I can't wait to see your list. I haven't pulled anything up yet. After I'm maybe dragged up, maybe I'll have a good laugh. But I'm anxious to see how your other list turned out. So
yeah. Okay, so and
Well, mine was so random
because of
Go
what,
ahead.
Pam?
Oh.
Because of the categories. Back to school, my very first item was a pack of those command books. Back to school, really? Or probiotics for kids.
Oh,
And then school uniforms, which are not out yet. I mean, we only got out of school last week, so
yeah.
uniforms for next year are not out yet.
Yeah, but then when you live in Utah, school's year round. And so they're already out, so it's weird. Okay, really quick, I did tweak something. So I put some situations that were not anticipated were, some things that were online were not in the store. The way we handled it was we would have to substitute with a different item. Some of us anticipated this and also took more options on our list to price check. Prices were not correctly let's see, let's do another, I don't want to say thing, another issue.
issue.
Would you say issue or problem? Or
Problem.
Could be either.
okay, we'll just put issue. Another issue we did not anticipate was the prices were not clearly marked. We would have to validate the price with an associate. Or would you put we would then validate we would then validate the price with an
The
associate.
store was disorganized.
All their fault.
Well, and of course, another non-fun thing is tracking an associate down.
Yeah. And ask them, do you have the little gun?
Right.
Can you check this? I mean, I was able to do some of them on my own because I have the price things throughout the store. So, but the TV, I had to have them do that.
Yeah, I had an air conditioner that said it was in Orem, and I finally had to call him up on the phone. I'm not coming back to the store. She goes, oh, well, we don't sell it. I says, well, it says you sell it. She goes, well, we don't do that. They probably do in American Fork, but not, whatever. So yeah, just incorrect information online and in the store. I mean, whether, they say they update everything 24 hours, whatever.
Yeah.
Liar.
Okay, let's see. Do you guys remember our group name or number? Does someone want to look that up? I'm typing our names into our thing right now.
Let's see what I've got.
Where do we even find our name and number?
I think it was in the very beginning. I don't remember.
I tried to find that list again where we signed up, and I couldn't find it. Did we put it on our last paper?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, we didn't have to do it on our last paper.
Jeez, I don't even know.
see.
Let's just come up with a funky name.
Beautiful broads.
Yeah,
I think he'll enjoy that.
that's funny.
Okay.
Maybe we should just do something like that. He'll be like,
The bold and the beautiful.
The thing of it is he knows who we are, so I don't know why. I would hope he would know who we are. We're always at his class.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, we should say front row Joe's.
Yeah. Front row shows. Okay.
Because we are always there.
Or like age to perfection.
Yes.
I like that.
The red, what's that purple red hat club that
Red
older
hat.
women
Yeah.
all belong to or whatever? Of course,
older
Ken,
lady.
you're not that old.
Really?
You're really young still.
I'm not that young. How
Yeah,
old are
you
you guys?
I'm old.
How old are you guys?
I still shock myself at how old I am.
You are not that old. You have kids. I have kids the same age as your kids.
How old's your oldest?
They'll be 20 in August.
Okay, I have a 25.
Okay. That's not
Woo!
I'm
far.
47.
I'm gonna be 45. You're only 2 years older than me.
Oh, you two babies.
That's what I say.
53.
That's awesome, though, you guys.
You do not look 50. Did you say 53?
53.
You do not look 53.
Not
You
at
look
all.
much younger.
So.
Did you never go out in the sun?
43-year-old. What was that?
I said, did you never go out in the sun?
Right?
Well, I spent a lot of ball games out in the sun, but, you know,
Huh.
they're all older now. Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so I have this done, and I will email it to everybody.
Hello?
So,
Well, it's not a political call. I'm glad that's over. My brother's governor, so that was not fun. It's not fun watching the nasty comments for someone that you know personally.
Your brother is governor of what state?
Utah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
he was or is?
he is. Gary Herbert's my brother.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
I just thought me and my friend went on a walk this morning, and we passed one of the signs, and she's like, well, he won, and I'm like, oh, he did? Already? It's like, I didn't, like, I was thinking it was November. I thought everything happened in November. This is how clueless I am. And so she's like, yeah, we forgot to go vote, but I'm glad he won, because that's who we would have voted for anyway. And I'm like, yeah, probably me too. And then I thought everything was in November, so I like totally
The
spaced
primaries
it.
are now, and it was just nasty with the primary Republican running against him because it's hard when you hear half truths. Because
Yeah.
he's got a good record, and so, but he's just kept all his commercials, nothing about the opponent. It was all about his accomplishments and what he's done. So
Yeah.
I like the fact he keeps it un-Trump-like and un-Hillary-like. So.
Good for
I don't
him.
think in Utah the Republicans there's obviously more, and so it's not going to be that big a deal. I think now till November, but it's hard. It's hard when you see people say things that you know are flat out not true about someone you care about. So
The thing of it is I don't care about whether you're Republican or Democrat. I don't, because there's some very liberal Republicans, and then there's some very conservative Democrats. So to me, it's all what you stand for.
right.
That's my opinion. But
So
anyway,
I'm glad my
Okay.
phone doesn't ring as much.
do we need to figure out what the next thing is and when it's due?
I think it's July 11th, and it's the one where I have to submit the graphs and stuff. So I was going to ask you guys, we don't even know what graphs are needed, so how does that work?
I wonder if we can ask him this next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I think what we'll do, I think all you have to do is, because you have to do this on the test, enter the data, you know,
Yeah.
label it and enter the data. Then it will just be all go in there, click analyze, graphs, you know, whatever. He can tell us what we need to. Then I think it should be simple, Simon, don't you?
So
Yeah.
does he want it? I'm wondering if he wants it in SPSS or if we can do it in Excel
I think everything's SPSS in this class.
even for the final project.
You could ask him.
Okay. Because it would be, I've already entered the data into Excel. All you have to do is click on all the graphs you want. But
Oh.
I can enter it into SPSS. That's no big deal. I just didn't know which one he would want.
It would be good practice for the exam today.
Yeah.
I think Excel graphs are easier to read, I think. They're clear to me.
Yeah.
Well, you just don't know if he's going to want the chai or, you know, you just wonder if they're going to ask specific things that we're doing.
Yeah. We'll have to ask. I'll have to ask him.
I think you could ask him, and he may just not even care.
And you could even email him, Kim.
I'm going to email him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you will
Okay.
send out us a copy of what you just typed, and then what?
Yeah, I'll
what is
email
supposed
it
to
right
do?
now.
So basically, what I haven't opened it. So basically, we're just going to open it up and attach that and send.
Right. So I assume that we'll attach the two things. So we'll attach the worksheet with the questions that we just filled out, and then attach what Kim put, all of our data. So
And that would. Did you send us? I guess that in Gmail.
yeah,
That's
I
why
can
I
do
haven't
that.
seen it, because I don't ever go in there. Oops.
Yeah, I don't use my Gmail that much. I have now that I'm in school, since we have to do all this stuff. But
Okay, well, I'll look for that, and hopefully I can get that done at least by Saturday, hopefully today, but I'm just so afraid of all my other stuff. I hope I don't forget.
yeah. Well, just hurry up and do it right now. I'll send it right now. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Do you guys have anything else?
I don't think so.
Well,
Okay, I'm gonna stop the